Hello law aspirants, we are here with a new video related to grammar. Grammar is the study of words. They are used, how they are used in a sentence, how they change in different situations, which grammar rule is applied, and the study of the sentence structure, the rules and the examples show that how the language should be used. It's very important to use the correct grammar, and we have specially referred to the book which CLAT has prescribed for us, that is Renan Martin. Please beware, test your grammar, see the rules, understand them and ask your doubts. We begin with our first question. Before I begin with the first question, I would like you, those who have not gone through my video of verbs 1 and verbs 2, should surely go through it, because that would help you to come across what are the doubts, how I am applying the rules. Although with every question I would speak the rule, I would say which rule is applied, how the rule has to be followed, but still it is very important you keep the rule in your mind. Don't do any mugging. Don't do any rote learning. Understand how I'm using the rule, listen to the rule carefully and then solve the question. We begin with our first question. This book specially I have referred for you specially because CLAT has asked us to refer to the book. Renan Martin is a book specially meant for the grammar exercise. This is a review exercise. It's an exercise which is a kind of a comprehensive grammar. That means the rules, although the whole grammar has to be considered, but 2 chapters, that is verbs and prepositions, have to be thoroughly done before you start with this exercise. So test your grammar, stay tuned, keep doing the questions, and here we are ready with our first question. The first question, you have to choose the alternative. There are 4 alternatives given. It's a multiple choice question. As we have in the, you have the OMR sheet where you have to circle the A, B, C or D. Which one is appropriate? The same you have to follow in this too. First question, please go along with me, ask your doubts, please inbox whatever is not clear to you. Please ring me up. Every time when you're doing a verb question, mark what is the tense given. Ring. What tense is ring? Simple present tense. That's why I asked you, please go through my verb 1, that is tenses 1 video, and verb 2. Tenses 2 video before you do these questions. And if you're done with that, you have revised the rules of grammar, you're thorough with your 12 tenses, you would not face any problem. Yes? So please ring me up as soon as he. When we have such a sentence, there is one method which I strictly want my students to follow. Do not run for the right answer. Most of the people follow the same stereotype mundane method. I want you to delete the answers which are not applicable, right? So when we have this as a present tense, we would cross the answers would come. Why? Because would is which tense? Past tense. Will, shall, can, may, present tense. Would, should, could, might, past tense. So we can't have would come. We can't have came because this is V2 form, simple past tense. So we have 2 options left, will come or comes. So because this is a present tense sentence, we will give the answer in present form only, and the answer would be comes. Take your answer. Please ring me up as soon as he comes. Okay, we move on to question number 2. Question number 2, before I solve the question, what am I doing? What is the tense given? Were looking. The rule applied in second question. Simple past is combined with 2 tenses. Simple past plus past perfect or simple past plus past continuous. I have described this rule. Very important rule. 100%. Please note, put an asterisk, underline, highlighter use kariye. Yes, this rule is expected in the examination. Very important question, dear students. Right? So which is given already a past continuous. So the rule applied. I gave you the example. I repeat the example. When I entered the class, the students were making notes. When I entered the class, the students had made notes. So here the tense given is were looking. When it is already given were looking, so I have to use which tense? I cannot use first thing present, so I cross have found, I cross has found. I have 2 options left, found and was found. I would use simple past tense and the answer would be I found the letter you were looking for. The first rule was simple present tense and the second rule was simple past plus past perfect oblique past continuous. We move on to rule number 3. He stayed at home. Since we are focused on the verb section, he stayed at home. What tense is stayed? What tense is stayed? Say loudly. Simple past tense. Right? The same rule. I told you very important rule, 100% question is expected on this in the CLAT paper. He stayed at home because he dash a cold. Now we have since simple past tense here, we cannot have is having. See, first thing I do is I cross the answers which are not applicable. I cannot have has because both of them are present forms. Now I have two past tense here. He stayed at home because he had a cold. He stayed at home because he was having a cold. Because there are two actions here, so we already have a simple past tense, so we would move to past continuous. We could have also past perfect because he had a cold, or he had suffered from cold. So because we have already here the past continuous tense, we would use he was having a cold. Next question. This question is on question tags. I've discussed while discussing the passage on Punachi, while discussing the review exercises of grammar and the verb chapter 2. When there is a helping verb given, question tag follows the helping verb. For example, he is studying English, isn't he? He isn't studying English, is he? Now here we have am, which is an exceptional case. In the am case, we don't have the word in English amn't. We do speak it in American slang word, but we don't have a word like amn't in English. So we cross the first answer, amn't. And since it's already I'm working hard, so I need a negative, so I can't use am, and so I can't use isn't. My correct answer would be I'm working hard, aren't I? I am not working hard, am I? I am working hard, aren't I? Because the positive sentence, the answer would be negative. I hope you have marked the answer, aren't I? I am not doing with a highlighter because I expect my students are doing along with me, taking the correct answer and choosing the right choice. Now the next question. He dashed different since he got married. Please write the rule. Take a pen and paper. Jot down all the rules I said. First I said was simple present and simple present. Next rule I referred was simple past plus past perfect oblique past continuous. Now this rule is a special rule to be highlighted. Usually we do not have a present and past combination in a sentence. But this rule is specially an exceptional rule. We have the rule that is present perfect plus since plus simple past. Please note the rule. What is the rule? Present perfect plus since plus simple past. So since he got married, so we will have it in present perfect. What would be the answer in present perfect? He has been different since he got married. I have directly taken the answer. He is different. He had been different. That is past perfect. He was different. Simple past and is simple present. So the rule applied. Present perfect plus since plus simple past. See, grammar is child's play. Once you start taking interest in grammar, once you start doing grammar, you would enjoy doing the exercises. So it's very important you keep this in mind and you do the questions thoroughly. Okay, so we are ready, I hope. Moving on to next question. We have a long list of questions to be done in this. Sixth question. Now for the sixth question, I'm telling you a simple trick. Don't forget this trick. You have to apply this trick in the examination, right? When there is a question mark, that means you have a direct sentence. When you don't have a question mark and a question is asked, the sentence is in indirect form. That is a narrative style. So first thing you have to check when you have a question of this form is you have a question mark. When you have a question mark, the rule applied is WH plus helping verb. See, I don't have a pen and a paper to write. I am asking my students to do the same for me. So, when we have a WH, you have a helping verb when there is a question mark. When there is no question mark, you would not have a helping verb, you would have a subject. Like I make a sentence. Like, how long? Because we need a helping verb. Have you been waiting? How long are you waiting? How long have you been waiting? Since how long, it is talking of a time period and we need a helping verb in this case. So the answer would be fourth. We can't use a present continuous because the action is not taking place at this time. So we have two options. Are you waiting or have you been waiting? And I've taken the answer, have you been waiting? Would have been 4. When you don't have it in question form, like he said, are you coming? He asked me if I was coming. When you have a WH, use a subject if there is no question mark. I hope the rule is clear to you. Okay, moving on to our next question. I'm applying all the rules I explained in the verb chapter. Now this is the application of the rules. What is the rule of it is time? Which tense is used? When you're so thorough with your tenses, things become easy for you. You are easily able to do the questions. So when it is time, I dash go home. The rule of it is time is we only use one tense, that is simple past tense. It is time, I go. Which tense is go? Simple present. Which tense will go? Simple future. Which tense is went? Simple past. And have gone? Present perfect. So my answer will be, it is time, I went home. Sometimes students come up with this doubt. Mom, it doesn't sound nice. Mom, it's very absurd. I agree, dear. It does not sound we are studying. We are following the rules correctly because it's time you studied English or you have studied English. You have questions on this, and I know because you are applying the rule, you will not face a problem. Next question. I gave him. Now, I gave him all that he wanted. I gave him what he wanted, which is used for, this is a relative pronoun, which is used for identification or selection. That is used for identification and selection, but it's used for person and thing, both, with some 10 conditions followed. That which are not used together. So, I'm using the answer, I gave him what he wanted. I hope the rules you are jotting down, making your notes, make your own examples. See, the best method to do grammar is to make your own notes, write your own examples, see which rule, which point is applied, and it becomes crystal clear for you to do the questions. We move on. We have a long list of questions ahead, and you would enjoy doing this grammar. I will write down the phone number dash I forget. Now this is the rule of conditionals. I had also made up a session of conditionals you would come across. This rule is, please write the rule, if plus simple present plus model plus V1, and the model determines the verb because models and tenses go hand in hand. So when I have used a model of present tense, my answer will also be in present form, and because there is in present form already used, I am applying the rule. I will write down the phone number if I forget, unless we'll have a second part negative which is not there, and in case of is not used, even though is used in an opposite condition, when he studied, even though he studied, he failed. That is a contrasting conjunction. Next question. When I was a child. Okay, now I'm at ease. I am expecting my students to answer. Yes, loud please. Which tense is when I was a child? Which tense? Simple past tense. When it is simple past tense and the tense answer would be past tense, we would have the answer. First look at played, simple past. Plays, simple present. Play, simple present. Had been playing, past perfect continuous, which is used with for or since or any time factor. Can you see any time factor in the sentence? No. So the answer, when I was a child, I played the flute. Many students asked to highlight, ma'am, please underline, use a marker. See, it's really very not possible for us in this lockdown to arrange a pen or the marker to highlight, but I'm trying to do the best that we can do and offer to you. Please mark the right answers along with me. Still, if you feel there is any problem, you could write those problems to me. They will be directed to me and I will answer to you anything which is not clear to you. Next question. I dash no trouble so far. Whenever you have a so far clause, so far, right, you use a present perfect. I make the list of all these. That's why when I started with the exercise, I told you that you have to refer to the verb chapter, that is the verb tenses session, the video, and the verb tenses too, especially to understand this exercise. And this exercise is very important because it's just the questions that Renan Martin has offered. Maybe CLAT picks up 1 or 2 questions from here and there and just paste up in your examination. And I'm sure my students will be able to do the questions perfectly. I dash no trouble so far. I have no trouble so far. Present simple. I had no trouble so far, simple past. I have had no trouble so far, present perfect. I am having no trouble, present continuous. So with so far, I told you what is the rule. So far, yet, just, already, to this day, till today, we use present perfect. So the answer, I have had no trouble so far. Right? Revise all the sheets of the verbs tenses so that you get good marks in the topic here. Next question. Dash, I was really tired, I couldn't sleep. Now with even, we have only one use. The question is just given by the examiner to confuse you. But my students are never confused, right? So, I was really tired, I couldn't sleep. Even though I was really tired, I couldn't sleep. We have only one usage, even though. Next question is a question on preposition. Please mark it. Highlight the answer. This is a very, very important question, because this question even is given in English is Easy, Chetan Anand Singh. This question is given in R.S. Agarwal, Objective English. Every book almost has this question, and we have ample variety of answers, vistas of answers for this. But we have cross-checked the answer thoroughly many times. Open the book, because this is a specific page. The page number is given, page 45. When we talk of anything specific, we use the tense, we use the preposition, that is at. We don't use in, we don't use on, we don't use for, which is used for a period of time, and we'll go for the answer, that is at page 45. Next question. The pickpocket got dash only with a warning. Now, the pickpocket is naturally a person who is stealing something, and this person, he should have been given a very strict punishment, but he got off. This is the use of a phrasal verb, and so got off means escaped. He got released. Very, very easy punishment was given to him, just a warning, and nothing much happened to him. So the answer, got off, that is escaped. Got over is overcome some kind of a problem, pass over through phase or something. Next question. The doctor told him. See, told. So that means the sentence is direct or indirect? Indirect. Indirect, the other name for indirect is narrative style. The doctor told him. Now we don't have a split infinitive. What did I say the word? Split infinitive. What is the rule of infinitive? 2 plus verb first form. So 2 plus verb first form you will find in two cases. To not smoke is wrong. To don't smoke is also wrong. Not to smoke or don't to smoke. You can easily see the answer is already separated from, as you separate the, the grain from the sheaves. Here also it's easily done. You don't have a split infinitive, that means you cannot have not in between. So in that case, we will have only these two answers. Since this is not the correct answer because there's already a negative twice, so the answer, not to smoke. The doctor told him, advised him not to smoke. The room yesterday. I have told you which rule. I am again revising the rules with you. I know I am repeating the rules again with you. Why am I doing this? So that you are easily able to write the rule along with me. Whenever we have a time factor, that is yesterday, last night, 2 days ago, or this happened, in 1757. I made the example, the Battle of Plassey was fought in 1757, which paved the way for the British rule in India. All the battles, you were born on so and so date. Whenever you're talking of a time factor in the past tense, we use a past form. So the room yesterday, I would use simple past. This is which tense? Present continuous. This is which tense? Present. This is present perfect, and the same is the present perfect. I can't use with yesterday any of the perfect tense. So in that case, I'm going to use simple past. See, both are simple past. This is used in passive form. The room was cleaned yesterday. The room cleaned yesterday. Room won't clean on its own. Naturally, somebody is going to clean the room. If I say, I cleaned the room yesterday, it is right. But when I change it in passive voice, the room was cleaned yesterday. By me is optional, so it's clear. When you have an object beginning the sentence, in that you have a passive voice, and so the room was cleaned yesterday. Next question. A heavy gold necklace dashed around her neck. Now, was hanged is a passive voice, was hanged by someone, no. Necklace was just hanging. Like a good necklace was hanging was right. We don't have an option of was hanging. Hanged and hung. See, the word hang has two V2 forms, hung and hanged. right? So whenever hanged is used, I would just tell you a simple trick to remember the word hanged. Whenever hanged is used, it is used for a kind of a persecution, punishment. You know, the 50 robbers were given death punishment and they were hanged with the rope. But otherwise, we use the V2 form, that is hung. And so our answer for 17th question, a heavy gold necklace hung around her neck. I hope everything is clear. You are writing down the rules. You are not facing any problem. We have a mixed exercise. This is an exercise which is including determiners. It is including prepositions. It is including verbs, using the correct uses of conjunctions. So if you are able to do this comprehensive grammar, you are able to do all the questions that will come on grammar correctly in CLAT paper. Question number 18. Dash is to visit India next month. Now, president is a higher post, so you would have the president. So first thing you would eliminate is choice A and C. Which choices you would eliminate? A choice and C choice. Now you're left with B and D choice, right? So B and D choice, you will have D. What is the difference in the two? The USA or not the USA? Because USA is abbreviated name of a country, and with abbreviated names of country we use article the. So the correct answer would be the president of the USA. I hope you have marked the answer. Question number 18, the president of the US. Next question, question 19th is based on gerunds. I'm just giving you a preview of it. I'm just telling you the gist of the matter here. With gerund, gerunds are verb ing which do the role of noun. With certain words like, relish, enjoy, dislike, detest, loathe, abhor, it is time, it is good, it is no good, avoid, prevent, mind, you would use a verb ing form that is called gerund. Avoid talking in my class. Stop making that noise. I enjoy eating chocolates. That means with the word enjoy, I'm going to use a gerund. That is which form? That is ing form. He enjoys praising or enjoys being praised. Since I'm going to have an ing form, everybody enjoys being praised by someone, not praising people. So the answer I would choose for 19th question is D choice. He enjoys being praised. We don't have an infinitive usage with enjoy, so I can't use to praise or to be praised. Next question is the repetition of the rule, and I want my students to speak the rule. What is the rule with I wish? What is used? Which tense is used with I wish? Which tense? Simple past tense. So when we have I wish, a simple past tense, I wish I have bought. Which tenses have bought? Present perfect. Which tenses had bought? Past perfect. Bought, simple past. So we are going to use the answer, and this is modal plus have plus verb third form, which indicates the action is complete. I wish I bought it. So that means you are imagining something. I wish I should have bought it, or I bought it. We'll go for a simple past tense, and the answer C. I wish I bought it. Next question. You know, we are on the midway of our questions. We have a long list of questions to be done, and I hope you are getting all the questions right and you're enjoying doing this grammar. Large quantities of jute. Large quantities of jute dash from Bangladesh. Now this is large quantities of jute is exported or are exported, since it's a quantity, and when we talk of distance, weight, height or amount, we use a singular verb. So we would use a singular verb, that is, there's only one singular verb, if you can see this, that is exported, since it's a passive voice sentence. So the answer is C, is exported from Bangladesh. Question number 22. I dashed him just a minute ago. I dashed him a minute ago. Now when I'm using him a minute ago, that means I'm using which rule? Time factor. I've repeated twice the rule. I still repeat the rule. Whenever you're using any time, a minute ago, 2 days ago, last night, last evening, or on Monday, or yesterday, or in 1947, any year which indicates a time factor, and that time factor is in past tense, what is used? Simple past tense. And so my answer is I saw him just a minute ago. Turning to our next question, question number 23. We dashed this dull film since lunchtime. Let's switch over to another channel. So it means you've been watching since with foreign since perfect and perfect continuous, and with perfect and perfect continuous we never use, please write, please note, we never use a continuous tense with foreign since. So we can't use are watching, we can't use were watching, we can't use was watching. So we'll use the answer have been watching, present perfect continuous. We have been watching this dull film since lunchtime. Next question. Because he dashed the oil for so long, the car broke down. Broke down means stopped working due to mechanical failure. It's a phrasal verb, broke down. There are two meanings to the word breakdown. The first meaning of breakdown is stop working due to mechanical failure. The second meaning of the word breakdown is start crying. Because the car isn't working, it's in the midway of the road, or the oil was, you've been using the oil for such a long time. So naturally, because he didn't check, he hasn't checked, he wouldn't check, he hadn't checked, because this sentence already has a simple past tense, right? Broke down. So you'd use which tense? Past perfect. You'll see 5 to 10 questions on this rule have come, that when you use simple past tense, you use as a combination past perfect or past continuous. So because he hadn't checked the oil for so long, which matches with the rule of for also, perfect and perfect continuous, because he hadn't checked the oil for so long, the car broke down. Mr. Mehta dashed for an hour when the car broke down. So format is the same, it's just to test you can. So Mr. Mehta, naturally you use no continuous, so you can't use was driving. Had been driving, has been driving, has driven. We can't use with the past tense, broke, we can't use has. So we cross A and D. Had been driving or has been driving for an hour when the car broke down. So he had been driving for a long time, and then he came to know that the car broke down. What's the meaning of the word broke down? Yes, right. Stop working due to some mechanical failure. By the time we get there, with by, note the rule, with by plus time, we would use future perfect. Okay, with by the time we get there, Ashok will have left. Means we are going to reach there. See, it is true that we must know the explanation of the sentence, it's true, but then besides that also you must know what is the rule. I told you the rule, by plus time, which tense you would use? Future perfect. Which future perfect? This is simple future, this is future continuous, this is past tense, means model plus have plus V3, which indicates action is complete. So correct answer will be will have left. By the time we get there, Ashok will have left. Right? We move on to our next question. If he dash exercise, he wouldn't be so fat, right? What tense is given? Wouldn't, past tense. If it is past tense, the answer would also be in past tense, right? So when you're using past tense, the rule is if plus simple past plus model plus V1. When you use if plus simple present, model plus V1, the models change. Every time the models change. Will, shall, can, may, present tense models. Would, should, could, might, past tense models. So since it's a past tense model, that is wouldn't, that is would, should, could, might, in that case we use a past tense. And so the past tense, we have two past tenses. You can see we first thing we'll cross is taking present continuous, not applicable. Takes simple present, not applicable. So if we took exercise, if we would take, we don't add a model, already there's a model. So the answer would be if he took exercise, he wouldn't be so fat. Same sentence, you know, just to cross check yours. If he takes exercise, he will not be so fat. If he took exercise, he wouldn't be so fat. If he had taken exercise, he wouldn't have been so fat. The three rules of conditionals: if plus simple present model plus V1, if plus simple past model plus V1, and if plus past perfect plus model plus have plus verb third form. Right? So now we have another question on conditionals. See, conditionals, verbs, everything is, you know, amalgamated. It's a mixture, accumulated thing, and you're getting the whole grammar review things in this. If I hadn't been so busy yesterday, I dash. Which tenses hadn't been so busy? Which tenses hadn't been so busy? That is past perfect. If past perfect is used, what do we use with the second part of the sentence? Model plus have plus verb third form, right? Where I just repeated the 3 rules, so I'm going to use the answer directly. Would have visited. If I hadn't been so busy yesterday, I would have visited. Okay, next question. He was offered a new job, but he turned it. See, turn up. This is a phrasal verb question. Turn up means to come up anytime. Don't turn up without information. You shouldn't turn up to someone's house without informing. CLAT 8 has this question. We have 2 questions. Phrasal verbs is a combination of tenses as well as prepositions. Okay. Turn down means reject. Reject a plan or proposal. Turn off the fan or the switch. Turned out means, you thought something and something else happened. Since he was offered a job, but he turned it down, that means he was given a kind of a proposal and he did not accept the job, and so he turned it down. The correct answer would be B, he turned it down. I hope you're getting the questions. Any problem you face, anything which is not clear, please ask your things. I have given dash eating meat. Now again a phrasal verb question, preposition question. Given away, given off, given out. Given out, the word means to announce, right? Given away means to give up, you leave something. And given up also means leave something. Now give away is gave way. Gave way and gave away and given up. I explain you the difference. Please note. When you give way, that means the bridge gave way. Nalsar question, we have this. The bridge gave way because of heavy traffic. That means to break. Give away, the chief minister gave away the prizes. That is to distribute. Give up is to leave something. So we would take, because you are leaving, you are giving up eating meat. The answer, the phrasal verb, give up. I haven't seen him dash a long time. Since it's a time factor, we have 2 prepositions, for and since. What is for used for? Period of time. What is since used for? That is point of time. Since it's a period of time, a long time. So from is never used. Please note this. From is not used for time clause. So I haven't seen him for a long time. I hope you're marking the answers. Don't miss. If you have any problem, again and again I'm repeating, ask the rule again. Don't keep any doubt. Anything which comes up, anything which crops up in your mind, ask your doubt. Somebody told you. Now it's a question tag. Which tense is seen? Question tags, I told you, whatever the tense is given, accordingly use the helping verb, decides it. He doesn't study, does he? Now this is no helping verb. In the case of no helping verb, you use do and does with present tense, and you use did with past tense. Since it's the past tense, now we have past tense, didn't he and didn't they. See, they're testing you. They're testing your reasoning. Now, when we are talking of somebody, is it singular, plural? While doing subject verb agreement, that's why we are giving you the videos in a series. When you have subject verb agreement, somebody, nobody, anyone, either, neither, they're all taken in singular form. So this is a singular form here. And in this case, we are talking of one person. Somebody told you, didn't he? I'm not using directly because for isn't I need an is. Somebody is working, isn't it? The watch is working, isn't it? For wasn't, the watch is working. The watch was working, wasn't it? Now, because the past tense, for this I need a they, or I need a plural case. They told you, didn't they? And so my answer, didn't he? Somebody told you, didn't he? Next question. I dashed early yesterday morning, so I stayed in bed till 7 o'clock. Now, I don't have a present past in this, but it makes it clear it was not required that you get up early, so you're staying at bed. I needn't get up, I needn't have got up, I didn't need to get up, I shouldn't have got up. Now, have plus V3 is used for an action that is complete. And in this case, if you see the sentence clearly, it was not required. I said the sentence says it's not required, although it means I am in a habit of getting up early, but that day there was no work in the morning, so I woke up at ease. And since yesterday is given, so it's a time factor, it's a simple past tense, I didn't need to get up early, so I stayed in bed till 7 o'clock. We have another question. See, I have included ample number of questions on I wish. I want my students to now speak up the rule. What is the rule of I wish? We use simple past. We use simple past in 5 methods. We use was, we use were, we use had, we use did, and we use V2 form. Any of them is applicable. So, I wish simple past tense. This is a simple future one, this is present, and this is a past tense model. So I wish I had more time. I wish you were a lawyer. We have various questions. Scan the CLAT papers 8 to 20. You'd find ample questions on this, and that is why I have asked the students to revise the rule thoroughly along with me. That is, I wish simple past is used. 5 rules thoroughly I asked you to revise. Simple past plus past perfect or past continuous, simple present, before or and, simple present, then time factor is given simple past, I wish, it is time, it is high time, simple past is used, or any time factor is given, simple past is used, by plus time, simple future or future perfect is used, or with the 3 conditional sentences, if plus simple present, model plus V1, if plus simple past, model plus V1, and if plus past perfect, model plus have plus verb, third form. Next question. The film we saw last night. We saw a film last night. Time factor was very boring. I wish. Again a question on I wish. I wish I dash it. Don't see. Wish tense is don't see. Present tense. Hadn't seen. Wouldn't have seen, shouldn't have seen. See, there's only one past tense use. So you must be wondering now why you're using past perfect. See, already simple past is there. So I have a combination which is required. And so I'm using hadn't seen. I wish I hadn't seen it. There's a difference in the two. I would rather. Please note, I have 4 to 5 times told you some questions you have to thoroughly note. Here also you have to note this question, very important. Would rather. I have the 14. Every time we do remember. Need not. Dare. Would rather. Would sooner. Had better. See, had always takes verb third form. But when it is had better, it takes verb first form. You had better study. But. Help. Watch, see, hear, let, dare. We always use which form? Verb first form. That's why I say rules are very important while applying these rules in the grammar sections. So I would rather you take a taxi. Please mark it. Important question. Simple present, that is verb first form. V1 is used. I would rather you take a taxi. He is a university student. Dash is hard to believe. He's a university. There's many qualities in him. There's this quality which is very difficult to believe, and so you use the answer. He's a university student, which is hard to believe. See, that is used for person and thing both. What is used for anything that is an answering the question? Who is used again for a person? Because it's somebody whom we determine, and this quality has got many qualities. Out of this is qualities very difficult to believe. So the answer I would use, which is hard to believe. Next question. They asked. Now, when do you have a question mark? No, you don't have a question mark. When you have a question mark, I told you the rule, WH plus helping verb. And when there is no question mark, WH will not have a helping verb after it. So first thing I eliminate is that with the word ask, that is never used. Words not used together. C and D are crossed. We have 2 options. When would he be? When he would be. Since WH is not followed by helping verb, so I would use the answer. They asked when he would be back. When he would be back. I hope you've got it. WH plus helping verb. When there's a question mark, they asked, comma, inverted commas opens, when would he be back? When we change it when he would be back. Next question, question number 39, a simple question based on subject verb agreement with the word news. Since news is uncountable, we cannot have an article a, an, or the. And it's not a specific news we are talking of. Do we have any specific, the news of China, the news of Corona? We are waiting, right? So in that case, we have a specific news. Do we have a specific news here? No. So we have two cases. We can't use a news, we can't use the news. We have two cases, news, and when we have these two cases, since news is a singular form, please don't judge a word which ends with s is always plural. The word which ends with s is not always plural. There are many words, a long list of words I've given in subject verb agreement which end with s and are not plural. So news, Arabian Nights, Charles Dickens, or Pythagoras, they are all words ending with s, but they don't have an plural usage. So news, first answer, news travels fast. Question number 40 is a question on adjectives. What is the rule of adjectives is, we use article the when there is something specific. We use article the with A3, that is adjective third form, but we also use A2 form. See what I am saying, we use with A2 form in the case of increase or decrease. When I am talking the case of increase or decrease, means the more you study, the better you score. I'm talking of the CLAT 8 paper, question number 37. Please note, CLAT 8 paper, when CLAT started with their first paper, the question which came was, the more you use the electricity, the higher your bill is. The more, the plus A2. The electricity, the higher your bill is. The choices given were higher, the higher, highest, high. The same you have to apply here. You have to have an A2 first thing. Second thing, this A2 will be preceded by article the. So the longer I live here, the more. We don't have D choice crossed. I like it the more. The more do I like it, the more I like it. The longer I live here, the more you are stressing on something. So in that case, the more I like it. Do does it is not required since it's used for a question. The more I live here, the more I like it. The answer is B, Bangalore. Right? Moving to question number 41. Please note in this, which is it? It's a question mark here. Since it's a question mark, WH will be followed by helping verb or WH will be followed by subject. When there's a question mark, WH is followed by helping verb. And when there's no question mark, WH is followed by a subject. So since it's a question mark, it will be a helping verb. We have two cases of helping verb. When have you bought? When did you buy this bat? When did you buy? We are going for, because this is a present perfect which is not applicable. When did you buy this bat? Next question. It was a film that I have never heard of. How did I? That I had never heard of. When I'm using both these cases, I'm using a simple past with present perfect. It was a film that I have never heard of. I'm directly using the answer present perfect tense. All the streets were flooded. That means it had rained already, right? And since it had all day long, but it had rained, right? I can't use a present answer. So in that case, it is raining. I can't use has been raining, would be raining. We can't use any continuous tense here. So A and B cannot be applicable. All the streets were flooded. It had been raining all day long. Next question. It was the first time. Now it's the first time of the series. He dashed away. It was the first time you're talking of, since it's a simple past tense, we can't have again simple past tense. So what is not applicable, was is not applicable, would have been is not applicable, has been is present perfect. So I would use had been. Again the rule applied, simple past plus past perfect or past continuous. I have only the option of past perfect here, so had been. I'm revising the rules again and again in the questions here. There's one more reason I want to tell for question number 42. I've used is have, never, heard of, because adverb of frequencies, whenever we use of adverb frequencies, always, never, sometimes, rarely, generally, usually, there's a long list of adverb frequency. We usually prefer is present perfect tense. I am always there to help you, simple present. I have always got enough time to solve your doubts, present perfect. So you have to be thorough with the rules, which tense I'm using, why I'm using, what am I combining, so you don't face any problem while doing the questions. It's important that you have a thorough knowledge of it. Watch the video or subscribe our channel, Law Prep Tutorials. Do join the LMS portal. That is all the questions, all the rules you would find, and especially verbs 1 tenses and verbs 2 video you must watch. It is a must watch, in fact. The car broke down and we dash get a taxi. We must is compulsory. We had got to, we have to, we had to. Since it's a simple past, and so the rule is simple past. See, I do agree that I talked of that is simple past is combined with past perfect or past continuous. But when there's an and case, simple past is combined with another simple past. So simple past and simple past, the car broke down and we had to get a taxi. There dash any news of him since he left home. Now the rule here is present perfect plus since plus simple past. I repeat, what is the rule? Present perfect plus since plus simple past. The first rule, 45th rule applied was simple past and simple past. Here it is present perfect plus since plus simple past. So in that case, I'm going to use present perfect. So the answer would be there hasn't been any use. See, this is simple present, this is simple past, this is past perfect. None of them is applicable as per the rule, and my answer so easily clear. Now it becomes crystal clear. Things become all the doubts, all the cobwebs, all the confusions, and all the muddle-headedness disappears when you're thorough with your rules. And it's a challenge. You do the questions of verbs, prepositions, all the questions which are based on grammar correctly. Answer C for 46th question. She dashed before you go to see her. So with before, when one part is simple present, the other part is simple present. I make it simplified for you. Simple present before simple present, right? With and also the following the same case. So simple present and simple present before simple present. So she leaves before you go to see her. Simple past and simple past, simple future and simple future, simple present and simple future. Adding to this rule, but this doesn't apply in past tense, that is simple present before simple present. You must be wondering how many questions, at least half century should be there. Yes, so half century you're all prepared for. I am sure you are all prepared for half a century of the questions. She dashed in the morning because she gets up late. She always has to hurry. She has always to hurry. She has to always hurry. She has to hurry always. See, in this question, please see, when you're talking of these questions, in this, there's only asked is the usage of always. When you're talking of always, see, all the tenses given are simple present tense. When all the tenses are present tense, what you have to keep in mind is this, that is has, position of has. See, everything is tested by CLAT. I have used the tense, now the tense is correct. Now ma'am, where to do it, what way to do it, we are stuck. No problems here. You know the rule, precise, clearly, minutely, conscientiously, and my students are ready. So, always as an adverb frequency is always added before the verb. She always has to hurry because this is before verb. She always has to hurry. No. She has to always hurry. No. She has to hurry always. No. So the answer, she always has to hurry. Be full of that energy. You need that bubbly, chirpy attitude to do the questions. She always has to hurry in the morning because she gets up late. If I dash a lot of money, I would travel around the world. So now the rule applied. I have used always before verb, so adverb frequency, simple present or present perfect is used. And the second thing to be kept in mind with adverb frequency is that adverb frequency is used before the verb, always before the verb. See, I give you an example. He always has a pen. And when I use present perfect, he has always got a. If you would learn like this, that the has, ma'am has se pehle lagta hai, ma'am has se baad lagta hai, no, you would never reach your destination. What I told you to remember is that has is used, or sorry, adverb frequency is used before the verb case. Next question, if I dash a lot of money, I would travel around the world. Now, I would travel is modal plus V1. If it is modal plus V1, which tense would be used? Simple past tense. And if it is simple past tense, if I had a lot of money, this is simple present, this is present continuous, this is modal, cannot be used with if. So if I had a lot of money, I would travel around the world. I've taken this question from CLAT 12 question, and all mixed questions from Nalsar. I've referred to HNLU, Raipur, and then NLS, Bangalore, then NLU, Jodhpur, as well as DNLU, and the Wen and Martin book, and all the questions have been jotted down for you so that you don't face any problem while doing these questions. Turning to our last series of questions. Now, when we have these questions, we have just now talked of, by the time I arrived at the cinema, there were no tickets left. That means tickets had been sold. Since the action is not talking with by the time, so in that case, by the time I arrived at the cinema, there were no tickets left. They are sold, they were sold, they have been sold, they had been sold. When we talk of such a question, that means you are reaching the cinema, simple past tense. It's already given simple past tense. When it is given already simple past tense, I would use past perfect with it, and in that case I would use are sold is which tense? Simple present. Were sold is which tense? Past, simple past tense. Have been sold is which tense? Present perfect. Had been sold is which tense? Past perfect. It is in passive voice. I sold the tickets had been sold. So the answer would be D, they had been sold, and my answer would be D, they had been sold. Right? Moving on to next question. I know 1 or 2 bonus questions are supposed to be done. The students have, ma'am, you said half a century, we've completed half a century. I agree, half a century. Some more questions, and my students 2 bonus questions to you. Yesterday, Ramesh asked, I'm giving a smile. My smile carries a lot of meaning in this. Yesterday, Ramesh asked, where? Now, we have a WH, and when we have a WH, you have to speak the rule in your mind in the examination. See, sometimes students see that it takes a lot of time to revise the rule. Ma'am, there's so many things. Don't make things. Be optimistic. Move with a positive approach. There are not many rules. You can easily do the rules. It will be very much clear to you once you start doing them. Asked where? Because WH will not be followed by helping verb. So I cross B, I cross D. I am home. You're doing with your marker. You're marking and you're highlighting. You have gone or you had gone. Since it's a past tense, so it will be the answer. It's a reported speech. Yesterday, Ramesh asked where you had gone. The last question. They aren't taking much luggage, many luggages, much luggages, a lot of luggages. Since luggage is uncountable noun, so I would use much luggage. Many is used with countable, and luggages can't be used with an S, and a lot of luggages, so the answer would be much luggage. Before I end my session here, one thing I want my students to be optimistic. Follow the rules. Understand the rules. Ask all your doubts. Things crystal clear. Be optimistic in life. Nothing is something which you feel is impossible. Everything is attainable. Stay tuned with us. Keep doing the questions. Do the questions thoroughly, and you will be surely able to understand all the questions correctly. Thank you so much for today.